What's cracking, y'all? You are now watching Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today.
It's been 5 years. 5 years since the horrific, tragic accident that involved Kobe Bryant, his daughter Gigi, and many other adults and children involved in that helicopter crash. You know, for a while, I knew this day was coming, and y'all that know me, y'all that have been a part of this channel, y'all know that Kobe is my favorite player of all time. In life, Kobe Bryant is one of my heroes. Was he perfect? No. Who is? Did he have flaws? Yes. We all do. But, you know, getting introduced to Kobe through basketball and him becoming my favorite player, and then following him and his logic, which I was attached to because it's very similar to how my parents raised me and my siblings, with the mamba mentality. Just to put a blanket over it, we'll just say the mamba mentality. Not going to get too deep into it, but you know, I attached to that, his ideology, his ideas, his way of thinking, his work ethic. I gravitated towards that. When he made mistakes, when he went through the low parts of his life, you know, trying to wade through the hurdles publicly, we all know about everything involved between on the court and off the court in Colorado, but I saw him focus and persevere through all of it and come up from the ashes. And it was, at the end of the day, it's one of the most remarkable stories in sports, but it's a testament to the type of person he was, what he stood for, his drive, and his work ethic. Nobody's perfect. And, you know, I knew this day was coming, and I said, you know, I don't know if I want to do a video. People probably expect me to because Kobe's my guy. But for me, it's still very emotional for me. If I think about my grandparents that passed away, that I was close to or had relationships with, it'll still I get that feeling right here. I get that feeling right here. I want to tear up, you know. Never met Kobe, but he was my hero for since I was in elementary school. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to do a video on this because for me, I'm still emotionally attached. And it still feels like it's not real. It's been 5 years and I still can't believe it, or don't want to believe it. Believe that Kobe is no longer on this earth with us right now. That's me. We all have different opinions on different players or different people, and I've heard all the people what they have to say. People that don't like Kobe. Trolls out there that are very disgusting, that I have no respect for. Teach their own at the end of the day. But for me, he was my hero. And he impacted my life. Not just, I'm not a basketball player. I don't really play basketball anymore. But through basketball and, you know, just me following Kobe, and I guess you could call him an indirect mentor. Like, my parents were amazing mentors. And a lot of things that Kobe stood for is what they preached to me and my brothers and sisters. I said that earlier, but it was almost like having that celebrity who you don't know, you'll never meet, but it was kind of just like an indirect mentor. Direct, but I don't know them personally. And I'd be lying if I said Kobe didn't have something to do with my progress in life and just all the lecturing and sound bites and even visual cues, visual bites, seeing how he, approached the game of basketball. How can you apply that to your everyday life? I'm only 5'7". In order for me to be a basketball player, I'd have to be the cream of the crop. I'd have to be basically Nate Robinson, who some people might think is a bum on the NBA level, but outside of the NBA, on any other frontier, he is like a god, for lack of a better word. But anyway, Kobe was my hero, man, and this is a hard video for me to make. I'm not even lying. I'm holding back the chokes right now, man. It's just unbelievable. It's unreal, man. Gone way too early. And somebody that had such an impact on the league, and at the time, he was impacting the WNBA as well, women's basketball. Arguably, maybe not even arguably, considering his platform and his status, especially, he was the biggest supporter and facilitator of the WNBA, especially because he was coaching his daughter, Gigi, and their team. I apologize if I come off a bit distorted and scrambled because, obviously. But if I could go back to that day, when the news broke about the accident, I was in Italy. Go figure, Italy, where Kobe Bryant was raised, right? I was in Italy during the time, working. By myself. It was nighttime in Italy. I was dining at a restaurant by myself. I was texting two of my cousins in a group chat. They were back in the States. And my cousin in the group chat, and I'm eating my food. No problems. Been a good day. Sunday night. And he texts me. He texts the group chat. Kobe Bryant died. That's it. I look at the text. I don't remember exactly what I typed. I'd have to go back and look at the transcripts. I didn't do that. And I don't want to. I was like, what? Or WTF? Something like that. And I left it at that. And at this point, he was a bit delayed in his response. So I assumed he was digging deeper into the research to make sure this wasn't fake news, that this was real. Let me check multiple sources. How reliable are these sources? So, some time goes by. I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, whatever. He texts back, yeah, it's real. It's true. Kobe Bryant passed away. Helicopter crash. I can't even describe the words. I can't even describe the feelings, my emotional state. There is no word I can attach to what mentally and physically, as a result of the mental, how it affected my body physically. And I went to Google, and sure enough, there's no words that can describe. As much as I want to sit here and tell you how I felt, Kobe Bean Bryant, my nigga, my favorite player of all time, my hero. No words. Obviously, I told you I was at a restaurant eating. My appetite gone at this point. I literally wanted to just walk out the restaurant and drive home. In Italy. But I mustered up the strength to get up. I didn't finish my food. I couldn't eat anymore. Paid my tab. Try not to be an asshole to the people working, because I'm just in a different state of mind at this point. And I'm walking out. Walking out the restaurant. One of my homeboys was walking in. Dapped him up. What up? How you feeling? I looked at him. I grabbed him. I said, hey. I looked at him. I said, man, Kobe Bryant died. He looked at me. We never talked basketball. I don't even know if he likes basketball. He looked at me with the most puzzled look. He said, what? Just like that. He said, what? I said, yeah. He went in. I continued. Drove home. Had to be to work 7 a.m. with my coworker. We were on a deployment. That's why we were in Italy. Went back to my villa. Couldn't go to sleep. Obviously, I have a big family, a really big family on both sides. They all know I'm Kobe people, so my phone is getting blown up all through. I had to put my phone on silent. People checking on me, and I love them. Thank you for checking on me, because y'all know. Calling me, texting me. And I remember texting my coworker. Either that night or in the morning, I texted him. I'm like, hey, just letting you know, my hero, since I was a child, he passed away tragically. So I'm not going to be all there mentally for work in the morning. I'm going to show up. I'm going to do my job to the best of my ability. But if I look a little zoned out at times, just know that's what's going on. He said, thank you for telling me. Love him to death. His name is Tim. Love him to death. And he doesn't follow basketball. He didn't know what I was talking about. We go to work the next morning. One of the commanders. I wasn't military, but we work with military. I'm ex-military. Ex-Air Force. Prior Air Force. And obviously, the news shocked the world. At this point, everybody knows. And I remember the Italian commander pulled up. And he started talking about it. And I'm looking at my coworker. He's listening. Yeah. I say, hey, that text message I sent you, that's what it was about. He's like, I got you. It still doesn't feel real. Kobe Bryant is not here. And I remember in the morning, obviously, the news shocked the world. The NBA stopped for a little bit. And Kobe Bryant was the topic of every morning sports show, every news broadcast. And it was Kobe and everybody else involved. God bless all those souls that were lost that day. Everyone. But and there's some people I didn't even want to hear him talk. Nick Wright, for example. I don't even want to hear what you got to say. I don't. And if it was just basketball with Nick Wright, you know what? This isn't about him. I'm not even going there. I'm not. I'm going to leave that alone. This ain't about him. Forgive me. I don't think a lot of people really understood like how intelligent Kobe was, how much of a mentor he was, how much he loved the game, how much of a historian he was. He was, in my opinion, when I hear him talk I hear everybody talk basketball. I listen to everybody talk about the history of basketball. And this is an unbiased opinion. I've always felt like Kobe Bryant was the most knowledgeable person that I listened to when they were talking about basketball in its history. Like, Kobe was a brainiac. He did his research on multiple levels. Players, teams, everything. And that's me taking my bias completely away. He was a student of the game, a historian. Truly, he was. And when I look at people or listen to people make comments, Kobe's just a cocky bastard. Oh, he's just cocky. He's cocky. He's cocky. I'm like, wait, all right. First of all, listen. Yeah, when he's on the floor, sure, he can be arrogant because he's typically the best player on the floor every night. And he likes to demoralize his opponents. He knows what he's bringing to the table. He's not going to be shy about it. But if you actually followed Kobe, you would know that he is extremely, extremely humble. He put so many other players before him. He's not running around here saying he's the GOAT, I'm the GOAT, I'm the GOAT. He always paid homage and respected the past players, understood what they meant to the game, understood what they brought to the game, understood their lessons, how they set the table, how they were pioneers, how we, the current generation at the time, are eating off their table that they set, but it's our responsibility to move the game forward. He understood that. He spoke glowingly of everyone in the past. People, players that the generation now shits on. All of them. You name them. Any player of the past you could think of, Kobe spoke glowingly about them. And 9 times out of 10, put him before himself. I'm not making this up. He was humble. A humble historian. So whenever people be like, oh, he's just cocky, he's arrogant, I have to put him in their place. Because I don't see players doing that these days. Especially not. To be as great as Kobe Bryant was, but always lean, and glean on other past players for information to help yourself grow. Tell me that's not being humble. Tell me that's not respecting past players and understanding their skills and how great they were and wanting to learn from them. Come on, man. You see, when he went to Hakeem Olajuwon to work on the post game, Kobe already was one of the best post players for years. He had an immaculate post game, but he went to Hakeem. Now, once he did it, it became a trend. Everybody's hitting up Hakeem because Kobe did it. Funny, but whatever. I'm glad he set the standard. But regardless, that went into the headlines. But I know, because I follow Kobe, many players before Hakeem Olajuwon, Kobe was in contact with, trying to learn from them, picking their brain. Past players and current players. He went to Chris Paul. Hey, how do you come around these screens like that? How do you curl around these screens and disappear? Things like that. I'm not making this up. He was a student and respected players. He did. I could sit here and talk about his game, break down the details and the nuances of it all, but I'm not going to. It's crazy to me how people will look at one or two things about Kobe, and then be like, he's an absolute piece of shit because of his field goal percentage. Or sometimes he had a bad shot selection. Really? That's it? And I could get into the whole field goal percentage thing. Kobe shot above average at his position, especially in the early to mid 2000s. He was above average. Back then, shooting guards weren't shooting 50% from the field. The league was different. The rules were different. The game was slower. Show me the shooting guard at Kobe Bryant's level that had a better field goal percentage than him. I'll wait. Kobe shot a better field goal percentage than Ray Allen, Believe it or not. Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter. But these guys don't get that kind of smoke. A lot of players. Anyway, I'm not going there. Anyway. For me, it was always more than basketball. I'd go home. I'd record the Laker games on VHS. I'd watch them nonstop. Watch Kobe's moves. Watch his post game. Watch his footwork. Go straight to the backyard and practice it for hours. That's why I play like Kobe. I like to play in the post. My game is a replica of Kobe Bryant. It is. And some other players. But yeah, mostly Kobe. And basketball and non-basketball. He impacted my life, man. That's my dude, bro. Still can't believe he's gone. And when he passed away, I said, I'm going to L.A. I'm going to L.A. So the tickets went on sale for his memorial service. And it was a limited amount. I tried to get some tickets. I did the paperwork for it. Wasn't able to get a ticket into the arena, but I still flew down to LA. I flew down for about a week. Stayed with my cousin Ayla. Sweetheart, thank you. Appreciate you for letting me crash at the crib. Wait, was that trip? Yeah, no. It was that trip. Yeah, no, it was that trip. I stayed at a hotel and I stood at her place. Thank you, Ayla. You're sweetheart. But I still went to pay my respects to Kobe, man. And they had this whole city, LA, was lit up with murals everywhere. I took hella pictures. I got them on my phone. I said when I hit 10,000 subscribers, I'll release everything. But got all these beautiful Kobe Bryant paintings everywhere, murals. Went to a few Laker games while I was there. Actually, I went to a Laker game, and I went to a Clipper game. And I got to see Zion Williamson play against the Lakers. But the city loved him. The world loved him. It was like, dude, I'm not even lying. They had a beacon lit up in the sky. Buildings had beacons on it. Buildings were lit up with like KB24 or his symbol. Mamba Forever, whatever. A lot of it was his symbol on my hat. Was lit up. It was like a superhero. Like in a comic book or comic book television series or media. Like a superhero just died. That was the energy. That was the vibe in LA. Literally, it was like the bat symbol. They had this logo in the sky. It was like a superhero just passed away. And to me, it was that. It was unreal. It was unreal. And I was out there. My hotel wasn't far away. I stayed in a hotel and I stayed at my cousin's place. I was out there during the memorial service, wanted to be outside the arena. And then I did some of it in my hotel, and I just sat there. I remember I sat there on my bed. The Beyonce thing, the speeches, Jordan, Shaq, his wife. I sat there and cried through the whole thing. I cried through the whole thing. I just sat there, teared up, man. Gone too soon, man. Personally, I always felt like Kobe got a bad handshake to me. Like through his career. The guy won 5 championships. Is one of the greatest players of all time. To me, in my opinion, Kobe Bryant's the second greatest player of all time next to Michael Jordan. That's where I put Kobe. But I always felt like he got a bad handshake when it comes to things. Like, had all the talent in the world, came in drafted to a contending team. So he sat on the bench for a while, didn't get many minutes, even though he had a very strong skill set, and on a per minute basis, looking at his output per minute, he was exceptionally good, but he just wasn't getting enough minutes. So when people talk about stats, this, that, and the third, I'm like, man, he came in to a contending team. Eddie Jones is on the roster. Nick Van Exel is on the roster. He's not going to get playing time, regardless of how much he's killing these guys in practice. It's going to take some time. Then he played next to Shaq. So, yes, you get the championships, but you sacrifice your personal stats and your some of your individual accomplishments as part of that. And then him tearing his Achilles when he was still late in his career, at a later age, but was still one of the best players in the league. Tore his Achilles, broke his knee, broke his shoulder, was never the same, and then retired after 20. Started a career in art, filmmaking, did a beautiful short film, Dear Basketball. Won an Oscar. Won an Oscar. And it was looking like he was about to be the one of the greatest of all time in his new passion, his new, wave that he was riding for his new chapter in his life with his family and through filmmaking. And then that got cut short with the accident. I just felt like several times in this guy's life he got dealt a bad hand. That's how I felt. But one thing Kobe always lived by was that tomorrow's never promised. He said that so many times publicly. That's part of the Mamba mentality. You got to capture everything you can today because you don't know if you're going to be here tomorrow. You don't know what tomorrow holds. So do everything you can to self-improve and make the most of your day and be productive. That's what he lived by. And how he passed away made that his message, it amplified it so much more. Because this was the guy preaching to everybody. Do it while you can. Go hard all the time. Tomorrow's never promised. And you see how he passed away. The guy that was preaching this to everybody. You see how this is exactly what he was talking about. And he did. He squeezed everything he possibly could as much as his body would let him. A guy that played through injuries. Many injuries. You're going to sit here and talk to me about field goal percentage. He shot 45% from the field, 48% from the field, whatever, while playing with a broken finger on his shooting hand. You can go look at the cast on his fingers and will this team to a championship. So you're going to sit here and talk to me about 45% from the field, and he's playing with effed up fingers on his shooting hand, a bad knee and bad ankles? Really? He's shooting just as good as the other guy with these injuries? And you're going to sit here and scold this man about field goal percentage? Get the hell out of my face. You see, it's crazy. People don't consider Kobe Bryant injury prone. Kobe Bryant got hurt a lot. He got injured a lot. But you wouldn't know because he never really spoke about it. And you wouldn't really know about it unless the report or you saw him playing with a cast or bandages on it. And even then, people ignored it. So really, talk to me about it. Talk to me about field goal percentage. When I seen this dude play through countless injuries throughout his career, you're going to talk to me about field goal percentage? In his era especially, Kobe Bryant had a bill of health like some of these other players that sit out for a bruised pinky thumb. He'd be shooting 53% from the field. Stop playing. This has been a long video. I'm trying not to get choked up. Salute Kobe Bean Bryant. Thank you, brother, for everything. You know, you will be missed. Your legacy still lives on today. People try to tear your legacy down. They try to seem like you were lesser than what you were. They try to diminish your value. And that's one reason why I started this YouTube channel. Because I wanted to put an end to that. I'm tired of hearing it. I'm tired of hearing the Kobe Bryant slander. That's not valid. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified. Rest in peace, Kobe, and everybody else that passed away in that tragic accident. God bless you all. God bless your families. We out, baby. Mamba forever.